Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. Here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about light and productivity. What is the connection between light, shining a light, being a light, and productivity? If you're new to the show, you can please go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about what we do. We offer groups and organizations, public presentations about being productive through joy. We also offer live one-on-one productive through joy consulting. You can also download these videos, all of them by becoming a free subscriber to YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. You can also simply go to michaeldatcher.com to get a direct access to yours truly. All right. Again, today we're talking about light and productivity. As you may also be able to discern from the show's title, we're also interested in the ideal of using joy itself as a technology to move us towards our goals and objectives. We encourage everyone on the show to start their own business that they may eventually be able to spread their particular light by being well resourced. Too often, those with good ideas don't have the resources to bring those ideas to bear. In the public sphere. We think that ideas are essential, and we believe in funding great ideas. So you can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us, see what we do. We are not playing. All right, let's dive in, guys. For those of you who are new, let me say a few words about myself. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where, of course, Michael Brown was murdered, and the conflagration that ensued happened there as well. That book's about identical twin sons, one of whom gets vitiligo, the so-called Michael Jackson disease, which makes people who have melanin lose their melanin in splotches. That book will be out in America in April 2018 in bookstores everywhere. Look for it from Third World Press, iconic Third World Press. Hakeem Al-Budi, shout out to you. So I'm also, my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. Go Bears. My master's from UCLA and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I'm currently a professor of English literature at Loyola Marymount University here in California. In Los Angeles, I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity given how crazy my own personal story is. I mean, it's crazy. I'm the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an amazing single divorcee. Yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet as Kool Moe Dee famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive through joy, so can many of us who are watching the show. In fact, that story inspired the business and also inspires this show. We know what it's like to come from difficulty, to originate from hardship. And sometimes people like us, we have such a good built-in excuse as to why we cannot ball, should not ball, have not ball, that we lean too heavily upon that excuse, although not to minimize any type of structural barriers. I face a lot of structural barriers as a black man with dreadlocks who's fly. Trust me, I know all about structural barriers. I'm just saying, people do not care. People want to see what you did when you were here. So we know life has basically been stacked against us. That's just what it is for some of us. And we need to always push and rectify those structural barriers, structural racism, structural economic and educational disadvantages for example, black and brown people. I'm heavily involved in that struggle, right, constantly. And given those structural barriers, we still need to find a way to do what cannot be done, to find a way out of no way, as the old black vernacular saying goes in the book by Monica A. Coleman reminded us. We got to find a way out of no way. That's just what it is. And so that's what this show is all about in some ways. Being an entrepreneur, creating our own path. It's fine to keep your day job. I have a day job. I'm a professor, which I'll always be a professor because, as I continue, however height I reach, or whatever height I reach financially in the end game, however millions it all adds up to, I'll always teach because that's a vocation. Being a professor is of English, because I love literature so much, is a calling. So I'll always do that. But so you can keep your day job, but still, it is important to be your own boss. It's important, guys. So let's dive in. On the morning show, we like to always speak about the import of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. What does that mean? Well, it means that as adults, we know that at times people ask about my shirt that I wear in the mornings. You probably can't see it. It's Billy Higgins. It's probably in the inverted because of the screen, but maybe it's not. It's Billy Higgins. Billy Higgins is the founder of the World Stage, just a nonprofit I work with here in Los Angeles. I wear the shirt in the morning just as a reminder of the importance of community activism, about loving your community. Billy Higgins, along with being probably the best drummer in jazz ever, certainly one of the most recorded drummers ever in jazz. He was really behind the famous sound of the Blue Note jazz label sound, but also he was the founder with Kamal Daoud of the World Stage, an organization that really helped to shape me, and I'm heavily involved in still, even after all these years. I like to honor him by wearing this shirt for this show. So when people ask about that's why are they always wearing that shirt? That's just a little inside. And the folks behind me, these are some of the icons who have my back. You may see behind me these photos behind each show. Langston Hughes, Asada Shakur, I'm sure you recognize those names. Gloria Naylor. These are some of my favorite artists, activists, scholars, writers. James Baldwin. We don't emerge in this world by ourselves. The folks behind me on these pictures, the man on my chest, that is why I am here. Their leadership, their example. I'm a little emotional now because we know we ride on the backs of lions, of champions, and now it is our turn. That's why the show and why this business is so important to me and many people. We want to do our part. It's our time. It's our time to build the foundation that our children and those who will follow us can ride upon our backs. So now we ride big. We create. We produce abundance so that they have the abundance to then create their own abundance. And for us, abundance doesn't just mean money, although money is a part of the equation, of course, because we live in a capitalist society, but in an increasingly capitalist world. Even China and Russia are largely capitalist now, which is pretty amazing in my lifetime. But so we know that's important. But abundance in terms of joy, health, love in our lives. Shout out to my girl Carmen. Just being able to have that love in our lives, just having a full life, an abundant life. We can do this. That is our life at our most organic level, and we're here to make that manifest. I'm preaching this morning, but it's okay. That's how it comes through at times. And so in the mornings, we talk about getting to that space. And how do we get to that space of hyperabundance? We get to that space of hyperabundance by creating ritual. Ritual can be defined as essentially doing the same thing at around the same time. Let me give you my morning ritual to serve as an exemplar. So in the mornings, I wake up at 3:45 a.m. I read a couple of spiritual books, indoor business books. I do our show right now at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. At 5, I work on my current book for a while longer. Then at sunrise, I go to the beach. I live here along the coast in Venice Beach, California. I bring my drum. I had a great drumming session yesterday. I bring my drum. I meditate. I pray. I do yoga. It's really powerful, guys. The sun, it's right before dawn, and the sun is about to emerge very soon. It's just in marine culture, the seagulls, the egrets, the birds, they basically feed just before dawn, and what they do is they fly in the sky and they just dive bomb. So you see hundreds of birds just, it's like with such power, they just hurl themselves in the ocean, and that's the sound. The waves are crashing. I'm meditating and drumming, and the birds are going. It's powerful, guys. And so I see that crazy bird bomber stuff happening. Then I come back to the house. I work on my book a while longer. Then I go back to the beach to run up the coast, all the way past Santa Monica's Pier. Then I come back, run all the way back to my gym here in Venice to get my buff on at Gold's Gym here, my local gym. And so by guys, like 9:30, I'm feeling like a beast. I'm in beast mode. I'm Marshawn Lynch with some dreadlocks and a PhD. I'm growling up in this piece. Feeling so powerful. And not just to accentuate my ego, but just that I may do the work better with more passion. I'm just feeling good today because I don't always feel this good. It's at 4:55 in the morning, although that's the goal, but, it's hella early still for me. Um, so we're saying that we can do that. And I'm reading two great books now, before I forget to mention them, as part of my morning reading. I'm reading the Nag Hammadi Library, a book of a compendium of ancient Gnostic scriptures. Wow, early 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century scriptures. Ancient Egyptian inspired. Oh man, Know Thyself. I'm also reading Carl Lance's book, Own the Moment, which is about what the title is about, owning the moment. So from those books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, my bright inner spirit guides me to bring light and life to all around me, including you, we hope, this morning. I think about that throughout my day. I place it on my phone. I also contemplate that and create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that reading. So today we're talking about the light and productivity. Again, if you're enjoying the show, if you're enjoying the light broadcasting live and direct now, please go to productivethroughjoy.com. Have me come out, speak to your group or organization. Take advantage of the one-on-one Productive Through Joy consulting, see our pricing and whatnot on the website, productivethroughjoy.com. You can, please also, if you're enjoying the show, swipe left or right across your device to invite people to join this conversation. Share this video with people in your spheres of influence. We're in a movement. We're amidst a movement of productivity and light. Hop on board. It's like the soul train with a light bulb big as somebody's head. I'm just saying. So let's dive into the topic of the show. Light. Point one. You want to know that you have a light inside of you. Man, I've just been hearing about, I'm a sports fan, so I've been reading about, hearing about reports about just the athletes who are gymnasts. This doctor was sexually molesting them. I mean, folks who are mentally disabled, people molesting them. It's a lot. And, we want to turn away from those stories. And I did yesterday when I was hearing the NPR reports on those stories. But I didn't, because I want to be reminded why we do this work, and when people go through those things, it squelches their light, and there's so much to give that people have shut down because someone has violated them. Let's protect our kids. Let's protect ourselves. And so despite what we've been through, we have a light inside of us. Point two is, well, how do we get that light to shine? We do it through that morning ritual. We help people create a morning ritual that's based upon their belief systems, their schedule, etc., that can daily prepare themselves for the day they know is coming, which goes into point three. As you prepare by accentuating your light, by spreading that light, but by doing it from the inside out, meaning feeding the self so that when you are spreading light, it's organic. This is all organic. This is all vegetarian light coming live and direct to you right now. This is that light that's hormone free, that's GMO free. It's organic, and we want people to know that you can build a light from the inside out. So when it goes out to the world, people can feel that it's real. People love authenticity. Raise your hands in Facebook land if you just love fake ass people. No one loves fake ass people. But the inverse is true. People respect. They may hate upon folks who are authentic, but they're going to respect it. And typically people like folks who are authentic. And when your light emanates from the inside out, it's going to be authentic, and people are going to gravitate towards you, and you're going to have an incredible uptick in productivity. Boom, goes the dynamite. That's it for the show. Thanks for being here. We are each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. On Facebook Live. Please go to productivethroughjoy.com. Have me come out, speak to your group or organization. Definitely share this video on your social media networks. For sure, become a subscriber to YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Thanks for being here, guys. Go to productivethroughjoy.com. See all about us. We are on a mission to bring light to the world. Thank you. We will see you all this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. for the last show of the week. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.